This is Case Study 4 by Taylor Heidi. I'm in SPCE 638804. Client description. My client is a 6-year-old girl. She was diagnosed with ASD, or she is diagnosed with ASD. She attends the clinic preschool program Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and her behavior of concern is elopement. Operational definition and response class. Elopement is any occurrence of client moving 3 feet or more outside of the designated area without staff permission, or any occurrence of the client moving to another location without her staff present. Examples: client walks out of the centers area after given the direction to stay within the centers area. Client leaves the classroom to go to another classroom without her staff. Or client runs away from staff. Some non-examples include client walks to another classroom with her staff. Client mans for a break from centers, at which point she gets to leave the area with staff, or client hides away from staff while playing a game of hide and seek. So those would be non-examples. The function, we determined that the function was to escape an area or a task, or to attain a break. She likes to attain breaks, which is just she gets to take a break within the classroom. Sometimes that's just sitting with staff and sitting on their lap, but she knows what a break is. She likes to attain it. Intervention based on rule-governed behavior. When the client elopes from an area or from staff, the client will be brought back to the area and then prompted to man for a break. Once client mans for a break, the client will be taken to the classroom where she can choose a game to play with staff. When possible, the eloping will be blocked by staff and then client will be prompted to man for a break. So this looks like, let's say we're in the centers area. If she leaves the area when she knows she's supposed to stay in it, staff will guide her back by her hand and say, if you want to leave, you need to say, I need a break. And then she will say, I need a break, and we'll say, okay, thank you for letting me know. Let's go take a break in the classroom. Again, sometimes when she takes a break, she just wants to cuddle with staff. Sometimes she wants to sometimes she wants to do Play-Doh. So usually it's a game. This intervention was chosen for safety purposes and to teach the client how to request breaks on her own. Again, intervention based on rule-governed behavior. In addition to response blocking, bringing the client back to the area, and teaching her to man for a break, she has provided a visual of each area she will be going in before going to the area. Staff will have her trace the outline of the area, areas marked off with blue tape, and staff will tell her that she can ask for a break if she wants to leave. So each area within the clinic is marked off by blue tape, just along the floor. So she is provided with an image of the area we're going to, and that would look something like me saying, hey, we're going to the centers area. When we're in the centers area, we stay within the blue line. Trace the blue line with me. And then even when we get to the centers area, I would have her maybe walk that blue line around the area. Or we would just look at it and point it out. That way she knows the area she's staying in. Again, this intervention was chosen for safety purposes and to teach the client how to request breaks on her own, so it's still the same intervention. Outcome of the intervention. This intervention is still in place, so it's ongoing, but improvement has been made. Some of the improvements are, client is able to trace the area she will be in with her finger on the picture of the area, so now she can sit with staff and she understands I'm within the boundaries of the center area. She'll even, before you show her the picture, I'll say, okay, we're going to centers, and she'll say, stay within the blue line, or stay inside the blue line. Client is able to stay in the area for 2 to 5 minutes before eloping. So before, we would get in the centers area or a different classroom area that wasn't her classroom, or maybe we're in the dentist office area, and she would elope within 20 seconds. I think the highest we made it up to is maybe 30 seconds. So now she's able to stay within 2 to 5 minutes, and honestly, it's leaning more towards that 5 minutes before eloping. Client has independently mandated for a break twice since implementing the intervention. So Originally, we were having to prompt a lot. We would even prompt after like a minute of being in the center. You can say, "I need a break," and then she would say, "I need a break," and we go take one to prevent the eloping. However, now she's manned it twice on her own. Excuse me. And said just, "I need a break," and then she's taken from the area. So some obstacles that we have encountered with this intervention is client began manning for a break in order to just play with her iPad. So we're actually trying to reduce her screen time. So her manning for an iPad is, though it's reinforcing, we want her to be on screen time less. So iPad is no longer an option. We don't. So when we take her into the classroom for a break, we're not like, we can do iPad or Play-Doh or play a game. We no longer provide that as a verbal option. And she has not independently mandated for it since we stopped providing it as a verbal option. So now we just say, you can play a game with staff, and Play-Doh and all that kind of is included in games. It's in her like game cubby. So iPad is no longer an option, but instead games that are equally as reinforcing are offered. If she would independently man for the iPad, it would be given. So if she mandated for a break, we take her to the room, we take her in, and she mandated for the iPad, we would give her the iPad just because she's independently mandating, but right now that's not an option, or that's not the case. So that's just really one obstacle of the intervention. That's really the only obstacle we've encountered so far. And that is my case study presentation.